Moving on to Part 4 of HCS. Labeling. 2024 HCS changes. Under HCS 2024, OSHA has updated the requirements for labeling hazardous chemicals. Labeling phase-in dates include the 19th of January 2026, when chemical manufacturers, importers, distributors, and employers must have updated labels and SDSs for substances. By the 19th of July 2026, employers must have updated workplace labels and their hazard communication program and training as necessary. OSHA does provide a second set of compliance dates, 36 months and 42 months after the 19th of July 2024 final rule effective date. It is recommended to adhere to the earlier of the two date sets. All shipped containers containing hazardous chemicals must be labeled. These labels must be legible, in English, and prominently placed on the container. Information on the label may include languages other than English as well. The labels on shipped containers should come from the manufacturer or supplier of the chemical. Labels must include the following components: a product identifier, manufacturer information, pictograms, signal words, hazard statements, precautionary statements. Supplemental information may also be included on the label. What you see before you is a sample label. The information in each category is representative of what must be in the content of the label. But remember, this is merely a sample. The layout may not be the same from label to label, but the content is required. Looking at these individual components, the product identifier on your label. This must include the product name or chemical name that is identical to the name on the safety data sheet. This could also be a unique number. The manufacturer info on your label includes the name, address, and telephone number of the chemical manufacturer, importer, or responsible party. Hazard pictograms. The pictogram is a key component of HCS, as these are standardized across the globe and will be appearing on safety data sheets and corresponding labels. A pictogram is a square set at a point with a black symbol on a white background containing a red border. These are designed to give quick information about a chemical. The correct pictograms are determined by the chemical's hazard classification. A square set at a point with a red border and no black hazard symbol is not considered a pictogram and is not permitted. The following are the HCS pictograms and their associated hazards. The health hazard pictogram indicates carcinogens, mutagenicity, reproductive toxicity, respiratory sensitizer, target organ toxicity, aspiration toxicity. The flame pictogram indicates flammables, pyrophorics, self-heating, emits flammable gas, self-reactives, organic peroxides, desensitized explosives. The exclamation mark pictogram would indicate irritants, dermal sensitizer, acute toxicity, harmful, narcotic effects, respiratory tract irritation, HNOC. The gas cylinder pictogram signifies gases under pressure. The corrosion pictogram indicates corrosives. The exploding bomb pictogram indicates explosives, self-reactives, and organic peroxides. The flame over the circle pictogram signifies oxidizers. The environmental pictogram, which is non-mandatory, would indicate aquatic toxicity. The skull and crossbones pictogram indicates acute toxicity, severe. Moving on to signal words on your label. Signal words are used to alert a user to potential hazards, and there are only two signal words: danger, which would indicate more severe hazards, or warning, which would indicate less severe hazards. There will only be one signal word, no matter how many hazards a chemical may have. There will not always be a signal word associated with a chemical. Moving on to hazard statements. Hazard statements are standardized statements used to describe hazards, as well as the degree of the hazards. Users will always see the same statement for the same hazard. Precautionary statements. You may see these sample statements. They match the 4 types of statements which may be included in precautionary statements. Again, these are just samples, but a precautionary statement must describe recommended ways to minimize or prevent adverse effects. The four types of precautionary statements are prevention, storage, disposal, and response. Remember, if you are unsure about the information on the label, look at the safety data sheet or ask your supervisor. If a container does not have a label, do not open or use that container. There are two exceptions to labeling. Number 1. A label is not required for a hazardous chemical that has been transferred from a labeled container to a portable container for immediate use only by the employee who performs the transfer. Number 2. Labels are not required on pipes or piping systems. Remember the four non-GHS classifications: pyrophoric gases, simple asphyxiants, combustible dust, hazards not otherwise classified, or HNOC. Pyrophoric gases. Safety data sheets and labels for pyrophoric gases must use the word danger and have the hazard statement. Extremely flammable gas may ignite spontaneously if exposed to air. Simple asphyxiants. SDSs and labels for simple asphyxiants must use the word warning and have the hazard statement, may displace oxygen and cause rapid suffocation. Safety data sheets and labels for combustible dust must use the word warning and have the hazard statement, may form combustible dust concentration in air, or may form explosible dust-air mixture. Additional other information can also be added with these statements. This includes may form combustible dust concentrations in air and may form explosible dust-air mixture. Hazards not otherwise classified, or HNOCs, are only required to be disclosed in Safety Data Sheet Section 2, not on the chemical label. They are permitted on labels using the exclamation mark pictogram as long as the words hazard not otherwise classified or the letters HNOC appear below the pictogram. You may duplicate the label that was used on shipped containers of the chemical. OSHA will allow workplace-specific labeling systems as long as these labels contain information consistent with the HCS 2024 requirements. If the in-house labels do not contain all of the elements required on a shipping label, the employees must get the hazard information on the missing elements from other sources and be trained on how to obtain that information. If several types of labels are present in the workplace, training must be done on all types.